Ducks in the Park, Chapter 6, Hot Water Rises. Over the next month, I adjusted to my new life and hoped my family was adjusting to life without me back in Kentucky. I was in the bedroom, sitting on the bed, studying the room, thinking. It was decorated in cherry-finished wood. The full-size bed, which had a bookcase in the headboard, was stuffed between 4-drawer chest and an armoire. To the left of the bed was a mirror with a shelf at the bottom. I stood up and took a look at the view from the double-hung window. It revealed the painted back of Fong's Kitchen, a takeout restaurant, and the alleyway to the right of it. I began wondering more about my family and how they were, what they were doing, when the phone rang. It was my mother. Pop ain't doing too well, and he isn't getting any younger. She wanted me to come back home. You got Sandy and Judy to help out, reminding her that she still had 2 children living at home. They're girls, Sean. They try to help, but your father thinks they just slow him down. They can't help him the way you used to. Her voice trailed off, and she sounded so sad. Mom, my new job's working out, and I'm meeting new people. I've got a life here now. I had to make her understand. You have a life waiting for you here. Your father's counting on you to come back. The tension was beginning to build. You have to start living in reality, and New York isn't it. If this isn't reality, then I'm in trouble, Mother. Mumble, mumble, I don't understand what you're talking about. Well, I guess I'm not going to change your mind today, huh? She really thought I would come home just like that. No, not today, Mom. I'm sorry. I love you, son, and I hope things continue to work out for you in your reality. We'll talk soon. Bye, Mom. This was one of those conversations that left me feeling like shit. My mother was always good at doing that to me. In fact, it was like that often for me in Coldwater, which was part of the reason why I left. I hated feeling guilty. I decided to jump in the shower and clear my head. I let the water run for a while to warm up, and as I started to get in, the doorbell rang. I wrapped the towel around my waist and went to answer it. Hi, I recognized who it was. You're Alicia's mom, right? She looked annoyed, as usual. You again? Do you live to aggravate me? Did you know I live right above you? Someone was playing Neil Diamond's Sweet Caroline in the apartment next to Victor's. The music was muffled, but clear enough to listen to in the hall. No, I didn't. Why, what's up? I inquired. The hot water isn't, for one thing. Do you know hot water rises? I have no idea what you're talking about, ma'am. I was just about to take a bath and couldn't because you're using all my hot water. She stood, as usual, with her hands on her hips. A bath? Who takes a bath? I commented. It was really more of a blunder, really. Sometimes people slip and say things they don't mean. This was one of those times. Well, I do. You can clean yourself better in a tub, plus it doesn't cost as much or waste water. They should charge double to people who waste. I've never had a problem getting clean in the shower. You just have to use soap. Besides, with a shower, you don't let the water sit idle. It's like you're washing yourself in your own filth. What? I'm sorry, that was impolite. You bet it was. Look, I'm sorry. I'll go, I'll shut the water off, you could take your bath, and when you're done, you could bang on the floor, and I'll take mine. Is that okay? I flashed her my smile. Well, thanks. Finish your shower. Besides, I wouldn't want you to catch cold in that little bitty towel, she snickered. I closed the door and went back to my shower. The room was filled with steam. Rubbing the mirror, I could see my reflection. I felt as if I was just letting everybody down by staying in New York. I was confused and uncertain. Maybe my place was back in Coldwater. As I looked at my face, I could see my father's face looking back at me. The same brown eyes, the same blonde hair, squared jaw. He wouldn't give up on something good like this, and neither would I. The steam slowly fogged the image away, and I looked down into the sink, where a spider was crawling around the drain opening. I turned the handle, and it squeaked as the valve opened, releasing water, and slowly filled the sink. The spider was soon whisked down the drain, never to be seen again. After I finished my shower, I went straight to bed. As I drifted off, I could hear a siren. Maybe somebody was going to prison or somebody was going to a hospital. All my troubles seemed small compared to the wail of the siren. Friday, I woke before the alarm sounded. It was 6:40. I still had some time before work. I decided to get out of bed anyway. I got dressed, crossed off yet another day on my calendar. Say goodbye. Today's a new one. I couldn't believe it was September already. Soon the seasons would begin to change. As the shadows grew taller, leaves would become hues of gold, brown, and red. And with a change in the wind or one of delicate rainfall, they would drop off the trees to return as sustenance for the next crop. As I stood there thinking, my eyes caught a glimpse of the clock. It was 7:35 already. I had to run and get to the joint on time. On the way in, I passed a couple in the park dressed all in black. Their faces were painted bright white. The woman was pretending to pull a rope, white gloves covering her hands. The other, perhaps her husband, was pretending to be trapped in a shrinking box. I paused for a moment and threw a couple dollars in the small box in front of them. When I finally arrived at the cafe, it was 7:50 a.m. Jojo and Seth were chatting as I walked inside. Seth saw me and waved me over. "Hey guy, come here." He had a strong Greek build. His hair was long on top, parted in the middle. The sides were shaved. The length of his hair both caused and covered the acne on his face. "Morning, Seth." Jojo. Yeah, listen, man. We're planning on hitting Club Def in the village tonight. Are you up for it?" Jojo asked. He seemed real excited about it. "What's so special about tonight?" I inquired. "It's Friday, man. Come on, it's time to relax, unwind, soak in a few and party," Seth answered. And he was more excited than Jojo, if that was possible. "Well, what time are we leaving?" I asked. "That's my boy," Jojo replied. 8 o'clock, just 12 short hours away. With that, I signed in and started my day at work. Seth stepped to the microphone and pulled a folded paper from his pocket. "This is something I wrote for someone special, but I never got to give it to her. She wouldn't take it because I made a mistake. I screwed up, so I'll give it to all of you. I remember there was a time when I could breathe the air around me. It filled me, it flowed through me, giving me life. One day it turned poisonous and tried to kill me, but it couldn't. So instead it left me. It left me helpless, like a deflated balloon that had been sun-faded and worn out. I was serving no purpose and bringing joy to no one, including myself. At work I was a robot, no more a person than the computer I worked on. And worst of all, I liked things that way. No one could touch me, for I was steel, cold, and heartless. So things remained until one day a woman with the voice of an angel and heart of a lion entered my life. Her presence itself was like an overflowing river in the time of drought, which brought with it order and peace to my realm of chaos. By her own words, she was merely a tool used to comfort tortured souls. I dared not harness that power, for fear it might destroy her. Yet I couldn't walk away either. When I'm with her, the air is sweet. She makes it that way, only she doesn't realize it. Most of all, she has filled my life with warmth, a warmth that I've missed. Someday I'll thank her by being there for her. Seth folded the paper and put it back into his pocket. Some of the customers clapped in support as he left the mic. Nancy shook her head, revolted by the dramatics of Seth's writing. Looking for something a bit more down to earth, she turned to me and asked, "So, what's it like dating in Kentucky?" We were standing near the pickup counter and she was waiting on an order. "Lots of phone time," I answered. "I guess it's the same here. Only things are a lot further. Say you want to go to the movies. It may take the better part of an hour and a half just to grab her and get to the theater. Mostly I'd begin and end relationships on the phone, though. Had this one girl who liked being talked to in foreign languages. You speak a second language?" Nancy asked. I went out and bought a nursery rhyme book that was written in French. I had no idea what I was reading. Neither did she, but she liked it. She laughed. I have to say, with most of my boyfriends, we really didn't go out much. It was either hanging out at their house or mine. Not that I minded. The rest of the day was pretty sluggish. On my way out, Nancy asked, "Are you going with them tonight?" I liked looking into her eyes and knowing she was looking back. Her hair hung just past her shoulders. Nancy sometimes acted ditzy, but she really wasn't. She was the type of person who would take in strays, and I was no exception. "You mean club life?" I was joking with her. "Yeah, are you going?" "Yeah, I'm going. How about you?" "Am I being invited?" I hesitated. In the back, Seth was waving and signaling me to say no. "Well, I was invited myself, so you're blowing me off, huh?" she said. "Nancy, I just don't know the area well enough yet, so I can't go around solo. You know what I mean?" The truth is, I didn't know what I meant by that. "I guess so. Besides, I thought you didn't like going out much." I said I didn't go out that much. It doesn't mean I don't like to go out. "How about I meet you there? Or better yet, how about I take you there? We can meet those guys at the club. How about that?" Seth just stood there with his mouth dropped open. "So are we on?" she persisted. And I couldn't say no. "Why not? Yeah, we're on for tonight." "Then it's a date," she smiled, pulling out a pen and a pad. "Give me your address and phone number. I'll pick you up like 8:30. She turned to leave, and as she passed Seth and JoJo, she said, "Bye, boys. See you at the club." Seth looked surprised. "Dude, you shouldn't date on the job. It's not good." He was going to give me a lecture. I could feel it coming. "Shut up, man. You're just pissed off because she turned you flat down when you hit on her." JoJo came to my rescue once again. Seth smiled. "Yo, I got the flavor the women favor." "I'm not like that. I hardly know her," I stated, not wanting to commit to anything just yet. JoJo smiled. "Now, can we get out of here? I got a date, remember," I said. This time I was the one smiling. "Yeah, all of you get the hell out of here. This ain't no hangout." Bob lit a cigar and pointed towards the door. "Don't let the door hit you in the ass, boys," he laughed. The smoke began filling the room, and I hated that smell. "See you Monday, boss man," JoJo said. I looked back as we exited to see the lights go out. Then the neon sign above went out. Then all I could see was the burning cigar inside. The end of the workday, the beginning of the nightlife. "Oh yeah," JoJo shouted to the world. Seth joined in with, "Hell yeah." He seemed like a follower. "If I'm late, don't wait for me." I had to get in a cheap shot. "Oh, don't worry. We'll come and join you if you don't show up. Nancy's a prize and deserves to be won, not picked up by some country boy. She knows this, so I think we'll be seeing you at the club," said before getting in a red Mustang. He peeled off down the street, banging second and third gears, lighting the tires, leaving tracks of rubber behind. He's got no discipline. I'm waiting for him to crash that thing again. "Again?" I asked. "Yeah, he drives like a dick. During the summer, he popped the clutch in a parking lot. My man lost control of the car and launched it into a retaining wall. Did $6,000 worth of damage. His insurance paid for it, so he didn't even care. Dicks like him drive the rates up. Although I admit, I wish I had some wheels." "So tell me, are you going to make moves on Nancy tonight?" JoJo asked, waiting at the bus stop. He seemed either confused or concerned. I couldn't tell which. "I just don't know yet. I'm not planning anything. I just want to have some fun. So what's up with Nancy and Seth?" "Check it, my man. Seth chased her and bothered her for months for a date. One weekend, Seth got his chance. He was supposed to pick her up and take her to the same place we're going tonight. Only Seth never showed up to pick her up. She waited, and he never showed. He calls a day later with a sob story about his roommate falling and hitting his head on a coffee table. Truth, Seth met a girl the night before and spent that weekend with her. He wasn't even at his place or with his roommate. Seth drove to the girl's apartment, where the two of them got drunk and did whatever they did there. He told Nancy that? I guess she's not really the type to hold a grudge," I said. He told me, Jojo replied. Nancy doesn't hold grudges, but she doesn't forget either, and I make sure of that. Listen, I'll see you later. This is my ride. The bus pulled up, the doors open, and he climbed aboard, pulling a pass from his pocket. 8:30 p.m. Seth sat in a chair in his dorm, playing an acoustic guitar. I don't use chemicals, he's saying. I don't know where to get them. I'm not a basshead or a crackhead. I got a credit card now. That's how. I'm staying up all night looking for you. He strummed a few chords, then stopped. He made corrections on the paper in front of him on the black stand. He scribbled some notes. Seth sipped a can of warm beer and played the chords again and smiled. He had a gift for writing songs and composing music. It wasn't odd to see people in the dorm stopping by and listening to him as he worked. Meanwhile, Nancy Green sat in front of her bedroom mirror in a red camisole and panties, playing with her hair. She pulled it back, then she put it up in a bun. She let two strands hang loose in front of her. She was searching for something new for the night. She flip-flopped it, tossed her long locks over her shoulder, but nothing pleased her. She was already showered. She'd sprayed her body with perfume, painted her nails to match what she was going to wear. Now all she needed to find was a good hairstyle. Are you going out? Her mother questioned, startling her. Yes, and don't you knock? Your father wanted his laundry finished, and I'm supposed to be going to a peddler's party. If the laundry doesn't get finished, he's not going to be happy, and that's not fair to me. Ma, I'm going out. It's kind of a date. A date? Where are you going? To a club. Is he picking you up? No, I'm driving. You're going out alone with this guy? Her mother stood in the doorway with a concerned look on her face. No, we're meeting some people from work. I hope you're being careful. Where did you meet this guy anyway? At work. He works with me. What does he look like? I don't know. He's tall, he's blonde, he's cute. Nancy noticed the clock. I'm running late. I'll tell you about it tomorrow. What time are you coming home? Late. Great. And what about the laundry? That means either I stay home or I'm going to be the one that your father deals with. Thanks. Mrs. Green left. Her night's outline was in need of a rewrite. Nancy called after her. That's why I pay rent, so I don't have to deal with that anymore. So if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you.